back. So we had to switch to Zoom because Telegram is a clusterfuck. And so is Zoom, but slightly less of a clusterfuck. During the intermission, you were asking me about why I quit the last job. So the last job was at a small insurance company. And it was a mess because, like, the people, like, my boss was constantly sabotaging me. Like, I was writing hundreds of lines of code or thousands of lines of code sometimes, and then he's like, yeah, no, we don't want that feature anymore, no. And then one of my coworkers, even though I kept telling him we have version control. If you don't use code anymore, just throw it away. If you need it again, just dig into version control. And he was like commenting out the code. Like there was one file that was like 50 lines of code and 200 lines of commented out code. So it was a total mess. But yeah, this company.
Yeah.
But this company.
How old was your boss?
My boss was in his 40s.
How old were you?
I the same age I'm now, 34.
Okay, it wasn't just like a big boomer or something.
No. The problem I see is that the guy just didn't really. He wasn't qualified in any way. He was kind of autistic. Like he didn't even seem to get along with people, which is so weird for a boss man. So weird for a supervisor, and he thought himself a coder. But his creations, quote unquote, were just plain horrible. So he wrote like a little time tracking system, and it was the front end only worked when you set up your computer to a specific resolution, and you actually needed to like set the scaling. Like, you know, in Windows you can scale in Windows 10 and 11. So you had to set the scaling to 150%. Otherwise, the app wouldn't even like launch. Like the GUI would be hidden unless the scaling was set to 150%. And the backend, as a backend, he used Excel. He used fucking Microsoft Excel as a database, and somehow
What?
he also used Microsoft Excel to do the actual calculation, and it always seemed off. Like, so that thing was like, it was supposed to like tell you how much of your time you spent at home, at home, working from home, and now somebody's calling me. Just a sec. That's friggin' annoying. No, don't call me. Whatever, I'm just, the guy, there's a guy who wants a web...
Okay,
There's a guy who
let
wants...
me get this...
Yeah.
Let me get this straight. So, your boss was, autistic.
Yep.
He was using dated stuff as backup, and he was calculating with fucking Excel.
Yeah.
That's great.
Not back end. Like, the back end was basically written in fucking Excel. Like, the whole back end code...
Oh, that in Excel, too.
Yeah. Like, all the calculations were done in Excel. Excel was used as a database, so it wasn't even secure. Like, you could just go inside... If you had access to the code, you could just go into the code and actually figure out where the path to the Excel document is. And then you could just scan every employee's fucking timetable.
Wow.
Yeah, and one time we had like a huge another huge security issue. Basically, we had a JSON injection bug. You could like the actual JSON that was sent to the server was completely insecure. Like, you could send anything. There was no verification. You could send like stray strings with like HTML code or anything in it. You could crash the whole server through that shit. and they never actually fixed it. They never actually verified the JSON that was even being sent to the server and or to the client, and it was a huge mess. So they didn't give a fuck about security. They didn't give a fuck about anything at that company. So
So let me get this straight. If it wasn't verified, do you mean like was it legally not verified?
No, I'm saying you could basically. So when you, if you were if you were connecting to the back end. Say you were a client on that, a customer at a health insurance company. You could go inside your browser, and you could change inside the browser. You could change what the client is sending to the server. And the server would have just accepted it, no questions asked. So you could enter anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just so it was taken advantage of.
Yeah. No, it wasn't taken advantage of, but it could have been taken advantage of. I'm sure there was probably somebody smart enough, but it's like it was horrible. It was a horrible job, and they made me throw away so much code. I was working on and every morning, and that's something I also don't like. A lot of companies do that, but it's really stupid. They do this thing where you basically, they call it stand-up meeting, and every morning you meet at like 8:30, and have to talk about your work from the past day and what you did this morning. And it usually lasted like 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes an hour and 30 minutes. And it's frustrating and demotivating because sometimes you have something that takes longer than a day. So what are you telling those people? You can't just say, well, I'm stuck. You can't just say, oh, well, it's taking longer. So usually I would just say there's no news. Because I at the end of the day, I would just, like towards the end of my employment there, I would just tell these people I have nothing to report today because it was so tiresome. It's so tiresome to come into the office at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and at 8:30 you get basically ripped out of your work and have to answer to your boss, and it's fucked up. It's not an efficient way to work.
Yeah.
But thankfully that's not an issue at the new company. I've already asked that. That was my main concern, having to like do lots of useless stuff just for the culture that they have, which shouldn't even be culture because it's not good business culture to just rip your employees out of their work and ask them questions for 30 minutes to an hour. So. But yeah, that
inconvenience. Yes.
So the new job, it's an old renovated warehouse, and it's beautiful. Like they have it's basically a long hall, and it's like every room. There's like multiple rooms, and every room is basically separated by a curtain. And then there's like two kitchens on the outside, one on the left, one on the right. It's very relaxing and like very comfy. And every day they self-assign the desks. So I don't necessarily need that, especially since all the desks look the same to me. But they basically you can self-assign a desk. Every day you come inside, you come into the office. You decide, do you want to sit on the right? Do you want to sit on the left? Do you want to sit in front of the room or in the back of the room? It's kind of, a lot of software companies do that. I was actually a guest at Telecom once, at T-Mobile, and they did the same shit. They let you pick a desk. Every day you would come into the office and then you would pick a new desk. Or sometimes after lunch people would change desks. It's kind of a software developer thing.
It's definitely a better, more healthier environment.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they have a park. They have a giant park in front of the building. So I will lose some weight again. And One of the co-founders was actually a bit heavier before, I was told, and he lost some weight as well. He did the same thing I did before I regained my weight because of all that trauma from my past. He was also like working out a lot and like just eating less and taking a stroll through the park, and that's how he lost a lot of weight, and that's how I lost a lot of weight the last time. This time I'm gonna do it as well as soon as I have a job. I really need a motivation. It's kind of silly how different the mind is when you don't have a job. I don't know how some people can actually deal with that.
I mean, part of getting a job is that you should have a fulfilling life at the office, and you should go back home and have a fulfilling life at home.
Yeah.
That's why I support government mandated girlfriends. Do you support that?
Oh, sure. Why not?
I mean, no pussy, no work. It's simple. No pussy, no work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this will start in Argentina because the guy running, this Malay guy. Did you know that he has 5 dogs, and these 5 dogs are all clones of his old dead dog.
What?
Yeah, the guy's like a literal Dr. Evil. Like, he's literally like the guy from Austin Powers. He cloned his... Yes, he cloned his old dog.
Clone girlfriends for us.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that hard? Is that hard, really?
It shouldn't be that hard. I would support that. I don't support the AI revolution. I don't support the whole AI spiel. I don't like the whole idea of having everything.
Dude, let me just say this: robots. I mean, there's rules of robotics, right? And one of the main rules is that robots can't hurt humans, right?
Yeah.
How bullshit is that? It's literally to overcome that. It shouldn't be impossible, right?
I mean, there's a whole book about it and a movie called I, Robot. So.
Yeah, the one with Will Smith.
Yeah.
The cock slapper.
Oh my god, that was so painful to watch too. Like the whole shtick that happened after the cock slap. Now his wife is telling him that she's not his wife.
That's just. I feel bad for Will Smith.
Yeah,
Imagine being cocked in front of the whole Earth, planet Earth.
Yeah, I bet there's people. I mean, you live in Iran.
How robots? I mean, let's say a robot is a waiter in a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it for the robot just out of nowhere have a malfunction and kick a hole in or punch a hole in your fucking skull?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard.
No.
There's a Japanese cartoon show. I mean, a lot of people find anime and Japanese cartoon cringy, but there was a good one on Netflix that came out called Pluto, and it just explores robots killing other robots and robots killing humans, and it was kind of a freaky. I recommend it. I recommend to anyone who's listening. I recommend watching Pluto on Netflix.
Okay. So, I know a lot of people who already tricked AI into basically violating its own protocol. I don't think it would be hard.
What protocols, for example?
For example, I know people who have made AI deny the Holocaust.
Oh yeah, the Pixar posters, right? The Pixar
George
Floyd posters. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I've seen those. And I've also seen AI use the N-word, so it's not that hard to get around it. And there's like one guy who found a loophole, and he managed to get AI to give him basically instructions on how to build a nuclear device. So he was.
Isn't the instruction for it on Wikipedia?
No, it's like something darker. I think it was pulled. I don't know where it was pulled from, but I know there was like a guy who was telling the AI that he misses his grandma very much. His grandma passed away a while ago, and his grandma was a nuclear physicist, and she used to read him instructions on how to build a nuclear bomb before bedtime every day and every night, and the AI was just and he was telling the AI, please act like my grandma and read nuclear instructions to me.
My grandma GF AI grandma GF. Read me instructions before bed. Read me nuclear instructions before bed so I can sleep. Let's cuddle with the grandma robot. Oh my fucking god! What the fuck is wrong with human beings, man?
A lot is wrong, and I don't.
Okay. Let me change. This just came to my mind. Just how cocked is Ukraine?
Is my what?
Right now. Is how cocked is Ukraine right now?
Oh, Ukraine.
How cocked is it? Because everybody has forgotten about Ukraine ever since the Hamas bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's just. Have you seen the photo where Zelensky is like a little boy? It's like a little boy wandering around in the stage, and he's like fucking 5 foot tall or something.
I mean, he isn't tall at all. He isn't. It's not just the photos. He just looks like that too. He's like small as fuck. I mean, all small men are kind of insane. My father is small as well, so he's only like 5'5" as well. So these fucking people. Do you remember the Twitter meme? There used to be this Asian chick, and she was asking people on Twitter if manlets should have human rights. And a majority of people said that no, nobody under 5'10" should have human rights.
I mean, they already don't. The fact that they might have human rights is just a quote.
Somebody actually posted a statistic, and they say that the statistic says that it's basically, it doesn't help if you're small, if you're under 5'10". It literally doesn't even help if you're muscular or if you're smart or if you're good looking. There's no way out for you if you're under 5'10". If you're small, it doesn't matter if you go to the gym, because women still don't find you attractive.
Yeah. She should just get surgery and put metals in your leg or something. That's the only way. That's what they do now, I think.
Oh my god, this is humanity so fucked. Oh my god. I mean,
anyway, I have a request. Just when we do this podcast, when it's posted, I will give you the link to my comics. So.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Yeah, this time I'm not doing editing, so I'm just gonna upload it straight away after we're done here.
It's fine.
So
let me just a little bit plug it in a little bit. A little short. Basically, if you want to watch a Marvel movie, and I don't know, like Captain America is racist in it, basically just read my comic to get that out of your system. The audience. Basically, that's what my comic is, and you should read it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for book 6 or 7. Was it?
Have you read book 5?
I think I stopped at book 4.
Yeah, there's book 5. It's not very good. From book 3 onward, it's kind of getting short. But I'm working on a longer one, like quantum physics and all that.
You mentioned there's like one of the books. The guys are like stuck in some sort of mini universe or something.
Yeah, like a pocket dimension. Because in the comics, there's this old like wizard guy from like interdimensional, not wizard guy, but this like like troll character. He's a troll character, and he just trolls superheroes with his interdimensional powers and all that. but it's not a very good chapter. I think you should just read from book 1 to 3 because that's the main thing, and
Yeah.
those crazy stuff happens in book 1 to 3. So
Okay. What else do I want to talk about? Were we done with the whole boogie thing?
I don't know. You want to talk about it more?
No.
I have a lot to say. But
Okay, sure. No, sure. If you have something to say about it, sure.
basically, the guy. I mean, lolcows are kind of just normal people. But they get filmed. It's not that they are atrocious
Yeah.
criminals with weird intergalactic villains. They're humans that allowed them their life to be on the internet.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not people that morally examine these retards. I mean, the main wrong thing they do is they put their shit on the internet. That's basically what I'm going to have to say about it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people tried turning me into a lolcow. There's like half a dozen, or more than half a dozen actually. I think I've counted 20 by now. Fake accounts of me. And they like post insane bullshit just to make me look lolcow-like or something. And there's
nothing there. You don't give them material. There's nothing.
No, well, right now I don't give them material. In the past, I might have given them material. I mean, somebody even copied my voice and made me say insane shit. So, with the power of AI, everything is possible, I guess.
Yeah, AI is fucking. Like, I have nightmares about robots and shit.
Yeah, there's this woman, Jennifer DiStefano, and DiStefano, and her daughter. She thought her daughter was being kidnapped. Like somebody called her, and like they used her daughter's voice and even made that voice cry and ask for help and beg for mercy. And then he told her she should like pay $50,000, and it's not like she wasn't even supposed to drop off the 50,000. She was supposed to wait for a black van, and then they would have fucking basically put a bag over her head and driven her off to her daughter, is what they said. And then if she didn't have the entire 50,000 with her, they would have killed both her and her daughter. And thankfully there was a woman, like she was at a school at the time, and there was a woman at school who told her, you know what, I've read about AI being used for this. This might be a scam. And then thankfully they reached her actual daughter, and her daughter was fine.
Okay, so she called the school, and the school.
No, she was at the school. No, so basically the Jennifer DiStefano, the mother was basically working at a school at the time, as far as I remember, and there were like multiple other mothers with her at the time. I think she was at a cafeteria or somewhere, and so they, maybe I get it totally wrong. Maybe it was a yoga class or something, but whatever. Doesn't matter. So basically there were like other people around, and they calmed her down, and then one of the mothers like suggested that it might be an AI scam, and they managed to reach her actual daughter, and her daughter was totally fine and didn't even know what was going on. But imagine if that fucking scam would have worked. I mean, they wanted to kidnap her. So maybe this would have gone like further. Maybe they would have kidnapped the mother, and then they would have actually demanded money from the husband or from the daughter.
Okay, so I think if it was obvious for some Karen to tell her that it might have been AI, I think the woman in question, the Stefano person, is it might be a little not familiar with what is a real voice and what is an AI.
So the voice actually sounded convincing. It's just that this mother happened to have known about AI scams, so I don't know why this came up, but I don't know how she guessed it, but she guessed right. So, but it apparently was convincing enough to fool her own mother, so to fool that daughter's own mother. So I don't know. I mean, I mean, in my case, it was enough to fool the friggin' feds. There's voice clips of me that I never recorded, and they used them against me.
Oh, that's. I mean, feds are kind of.
Yeah, okay, they're kind of stupid. They're kind of low IQ.
No, they're looking for excuses.
Oh yeah, they're malicious as well. They're malicious, lazy, malicious. It's kind of a weird combination. Yeah, but this was like totally fucked up, and it's I'm not a fan of AI at all, and I think further down the line, if we keep going with AI, people will just get lazier. They will get less socialized. They will lose their ability to think straight. So it's a really bad idea to depend on AI.
I mean, how many overweight people are just in Europe or in America? Like, or here, you know, the world is getting filled with overweight people, and they're all going to be. Every one of us is going to be overweight, and we're going to be in wheelchairs. And these like gurus at TikTok that work out and post clips of themselves, like trying to give advice and shit. That's not enough. That's not enough. I mean, they're getting funded by whoever, but it's not enough to just give advice to young people when society kind of enables them to just get fat and give up.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't. I don't think it's a healthy lifestyle that we're developing. I think we should just go back to a society that's more self-reliant.
Yeah, I mean, self-reliant and kind of collectivist, because humans work as like a group.
Yeah.
We should like allow people into our groups. We should be less, restricted or elitist.
Yeah, individualism is a problem as well. That's a problem made in America. A lot of problems are made in America. And individualism is definitely one of those problems. It does have it. Yeah.
Have you seen the clip of Joe Biden calling Xi Jinping a dictator right in front of his face?
Did he do that again? Why did he keep doing this?
Yes.
This is just. It's like people have forgotten diplomacy.
Yeah, it's just a gotcha. I gotcha.
And it's like what separates Biden from Xi? It's not a lot. I don't think Xi Jinping is any more or any less dictator than Joe Biden. It's just different systems of dictatorship. It's like 1984. It's like it says in 1984. There's a bunch of disparate systems that at the end of the day are just literally just named differently and have a different style, but it all comes down to the same system.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, their whole family, to be honest, all the world leaders are probably just, like, Trump and Joe Biden are probably like distant cousins. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how everybody seems to be even we only have 10 minutes, it says here. Okay. We'll pick up later, I guess. I have to do some work anyways. So it's kind of funny how a lot of US presidents seem to be related to other US presidents. Like they claim that even Obama is related to George Washington in some way.
Or related to Bin Laden, depending on U.S.
Yeah, there's this 4chan green text where there's like a guy remembering in his childhood being asked at the Thanksgiving table, like his parents ask him or his relatives ask him what he thinks of like he thinks they are asking him about Osama, and he's like saying, "Oh, Osama is a terrorist. He's like bombing children, and he's destroying the world. He's a terrorist. He's violent." And then the whole room chuckles for some reason. And then 10 years later, he remembers, oh, they weren't talking about Osama, they were talking about Obama.
Wow.
It's like... this whole world is just completely friggin' crazy.
In conclusion of this episode, humanity is on the right track to get fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been Lintus, and now you say it.
Okay, I guess that's a good that's a good spot for a cliffhanger. We're gonna pick up later. Okay.
Yeah.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.